There are a lot of people who would love to make the kind of living Breck Dickinson does.
Yeah, I love it. Sending all the birds down here.
He's a popular duck hunting guide on the Salton Sea.
I guess I was destined for marshes.
With clients booked out years in advance.
And they'll launch here and ride out on the river.
He's just wondering how many more years he can keep doing this.
Yeah, well, it's gone way out, and, you can't even access it anymore, really.
The Salton Sea in Southern California is dying. It has lost about a third of its water in just 25 years. The main source of water into the lake comes from local agricultural runoff. And due to farmers using water more efficiently, there's less runoff into the Salton Sea.
It used to be a flourishing resort, at the north end, and that you look at stuff from like the 50s and 60s. It was a popular place, people water skiing and all that kind of stuff. Not anymore.
Those resorts are long gone, and Dickinson has noticed a lot of the birds he used to see.
For one thing, there's no more brown pelicans. They used to be here.
Are gone too.
And the Salton Sea used to have fish in it. It used to have tilapia and corvina, but there was a big algae boom and choked out all the oxygen. They all died.
The Salton Sea is an important stopover for migratory birds on the Pacific Flyway. But as the lake continues to shrink...
Well, they always talk about saving the Salton Sea.
Dickinson is worried there may not be a place for those birds to go.
But, as like everything, it always comes down to money, and they're not willing to spend money on it.
However, there are groups trying.
It's really hard to describe just how large this project is.
Samantha Arthur is with the California Natural Resources Agency.
The ecosystem perspective.
One of several state agencies working on the Salton Sea Conservation Habitat Project.
Here's our pump station. It's about a mile out from the shore.
It's really exciting because it's the first large-scale aquatic restoration project that the state of California is implementing here at the Salton Sea.
Basically, the state built large berms to take in fresh water, like at this diversion dam along the New River. And salt water from the Salton Sea at this pump station.
And we're mixing that water over here.
The fresh water and salt water are mixed to control salinity levels. Then it's spread out over exposed lake bed. The result is a habitat not too salty for fish to live in, and a rest stop and feeding place for migratory birds.
This project is a reflection of the care of local communities, the care of the state of California in stepping up to address issues here.
Construction began 3 years ago. The project covers 4,300 acres. And federal funding just came in to expand it to 30,000 acres over the next 10 years.
It's very important to build this habitat and maintain it, of course.
It's certainly not a solution for the entire lake, but in this corner on the southwest side, it is finally something.
I'm not going to say we got it right. We still have a lot to learn, but so far it seems to be working fairly well in our first test.
Dickinson hopes the project works, but it is a large lake.
Yeah, I would hate to see it dry up completely. That would be bad.
And he's worried about the rest of it.
So much so, if that happened, I'd probably just move.